Hey everyone. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier just dropped. It's time to update my tier list. I'm sure it probably hasn't changed very much, but I think I changed a couple things. This list changes on a daily basis. So this time, instead of going in whatever order this list provided me, I'm going to go in chronological order. So I want to make things look a little different every time. So I'm going to randomize the order that I go in. And this time it happens to be this order. Maybe next time I'll start at the bottom, go to the top. But right now we're going to go chronological order. So if you want to see Falcon and the Winter Soldier, just go to the end because it's going to be the last one I rank. So, yep, that's exactly what I want to be saying. So let me get this list started here. We don't have as much time as I did last time. Iron Man 1, an absolute banger classic. This movie does literally everything I want in a superhero movie. It was before Marvel became partners with Disney, so they were able to be more violent in this one, I guess, if that's a thing that I say. Apparently it is. So by violent, I mean you can actually, it feels more real. The other ones have a lot of CGI, and they feel, even though what is it called? The stakes are higher and things are technically more violent in them, it feels less violent as a result. Whereas this one here, they don't censor all this stuff to be like whatever funny stuff. Everything's not funny. The movie is funny in general because Iron Man is Robert Downey and he's a funny guy. So yep, this movie has a unique taste to it because it's like one of the only ones that's not under the Disney banner. So I appreciate that. I love the style. It's an S tier movie and it always will be. It's one of my favorites and it's never going to change. Hulk, on the other hand, is a D tier movie. I don't remember a lot about this movie. I don't care to remember a lot about this movie. It happened. I'll watch it once in a while. I don't have much want to watch it anymore right now, definitely. It happened. Edward Norton's in it. It's not a movie that I think I laughed at one time when they got out of the taxi car. I know I just said this movie's not funny and that's why I ranked it high, but it is funny. I'll get that out of the way. It's a funny movie. So I like the laughing parts. This movie, it doesn't make me laugh. It doesn't entertain me. I don't want to watch it again. It's just not good. But it doesn't get an F. So Iron Man 2, I put in the A tier actually. I do not like the villain in this movie. The villain's not good. What's his name? Whiplash. Not a fan of Whiplash. I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he's good either. He has like no character depth. So if you're a big character depth kind of guy, you're gonna absolutely hate Whiplash, and you're gonna hate this movie as a result. But Justin Hammer, on the other hand, he's a funny guy. I enjoy him, and I definitely enjoy Iron Man in this movie. Obviously, I enjoy um, what's his name, Don Cheadle coming in as the War Machine. I think he has better chemistry with Robert Downey than the first guy did. And their banter in this movie, back and forth, is what carries it, I think. It just makes it way better for me because War Machine's always got something to say at the right time. And it's really good. Black Widow, yeah. I enjoy this movie more than anybody else does. I know that for sure because no other crazy madman will put it in their A tier. Thor, B tier. B tier? Yeah, B tier. Um, yeah, it's just solid. It's a good movie. For origin story for Thor, it's a unique idea and I like it. He came to Earth to fish out of water stuff is the funniest stuff. That's some of the funniest stuff in the whole thing. This drink, I like it. Another. That's funny stuff. Yeah, it's a good movie. The only problem with it is it's shot at a weird angle, and I don't enjoy that part. I think Loki in this movie is not a good villain. Also, he's a lot better in Avengers and literally every other movie, but in this movie, he is not as good. I have to say. So it's a B tier movie. It's still fine. They could have made Loki a little better, I think. Captain America: The First Avenger is B tier, but it's below Thor. So on paper, this movie is awesome, but it just doesn't play out that way. I like the first hour, probably. But once he actually becomes Captain America, does the chase scene, and then they ship him around to concerts, I just lose interest in this movie. It's a cool concept after that, but they really botched it, I think. I guess the prison rescue is super cool and all that kind of stuff, but after that, falls off the map for me. It, once Bucky just falls off the train, it's just It's not bad. It's still good, but it's just not my favorite. Definitely not my favorite. Avengers S tier, but behind Iron Man. It brought everybody together perfectly. Thor is still being old Thor in this movie, and it works. You don't hate Thor in this one. They actually made the Shakespeare Thor work. They made Iron Man a little bit of a dick, but it's fine. He still works in this movie. Captain America works in this movie, but not at his peak potential yet. And the Hulk in this movie is the best you'll ever see the Hulk. He's really good in the Avengers. I think that if they wrote the Hulk like they did in the Avengers, he'd be a better character because he kind of turns into a joke a little bit towards the end. They make his character just a joke, but I don't hate that either. I just prefer this Hulk. It's much more fun to watch. So Avengers, a S tier movie. Started the trend of the big alien hordes, but I don't hate that. So S tier movie. Iron Man 3, S tier movie as well, coming in at second place thus far. So I love this movie. It's the most rewatchable in the entire franchise for me. I could literally just throw this in right now and watch it. I could throw this in anytime I wanted and just watch it. The kid is probably my least favorite part about it. I don't like how bad Iron Man treats the kid, I guess. But other than that, the only other part about this I don't like is the villain. And their group isn't really bad, but they just overdid Killian. If they didn't overdo Killian or made Killian a little bit better, this movie would probably be in my top 5. Or even top 3. Well, I guess there's a spoiler alert, but yeah, it's a really good movie. I just wish that Killian didn't randomly breathe fire for no reason. Yeah, basically that, and I wish the kid thing would have been slightly different, but I don't hate it. Other than that, yeah, it's a fine movie. I love the part where he's like a spy out of his armor and stuff like that. So, S tier movie. Thor: The Dark World is a C tier movie. This movie is C is my okay tier, so it's an okay movie. I'll watch it. It's nothing special. The villain is so bad in this movie that I barely remember who it is, and I've even watched the movie like maybe 4 or 5 times, and I still barely remember the guy. I don't remember a single line that the guy said. I guess I don't remember a line that Red Skull said either, but this guy is way worse than Red Skull. Red Skull was actually decent. Wow, I don't remember any lines that villains say. I only remember the lines the heroes say. But basically, what's her fucking name? Darcy and Jane are bad in this movie, and I would like the movie better without them. The ether is not done well in this movie. It's cool, but it's not done well. Thor is not done well in this movie. Loki is done pretty well. I'll give him that. But after it's just so forgettable, just more memorable about the Hulk than the Hulk, so it's C tier. Winter Soldier is my hottest take in the entire planet. Put it at the bottom of A tier, behind Iron Man 2. I'm a mega Iron Man fan, as you can tell. So at this point in the MCU, my 3 favorite movies were Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, and the Avengers. Winter Soldier, I watched in a hotel room when I was in Chicago for a NASCAR race. I watched this movie. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was the best, but I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I wanted to watch it again right after, so I liked it a lot. I actually am very close to putting it above Iron Man 2. They're about the same level to me, for much different reasons, obviously. There's no question that Winter Soldier is the better film here, objectively. But personally, since this is my preference, I prefer Iron Man 2. The Winter Soldier movie just plateaus. It's a plateau. It's like watching a movie on a plateau, basically. It's never bad, but it's never phenomenal for me. It's always good or great in the A tier. It's always great. It's never excellent. It's never good. It's always great. So it's just A tier. Guardians of the Galaxy breaks the party up. It goes up into S tier, above Iron Man 3. When I first heard about this movie, I didn't know what the fuck it was. My mom brought home, or she said that a coworker said Guardians of the Galaxy was a good movie, and I'm like, what in the fuck is a Guardians of the Galaxy? And then I watched it, and I didn't know it was related to the Marvel Universe at all. I thought this was something completely different. And when I was younger, I did not watch the title cards. When did this come out? 2014? So 7 years ago, I was 18. Yeah, so I barely, barely knew it was connected. I probably didn't know at all. But it was at a time in my life where I was a little depressed, and I watched this movie, and fucking love this movie. I want to put it above Iron Man. Really bad, if I'm being honest, but I can't quite do it. I might make an adjustment here because now I'm realizing how much this movie means to me, personally. Just lighthearted superhero action. It made me laugh in a time when I didn't want to laugh. Yeah, this movie does mean a lot to me. I'm definitely keeping an S tier. You can't beat it. Age of Ultron. It's going in B, but where in B? I like to hate it because I hate the low parts of this movie so much. I don't like the Hulkbuster fight, and that really kills the movie for me. But do I want to put it at the very bottom of B? Yeah, I don't know. Probably here. When the movie came out, I liked it a lot because I like the Scarlet Witch, but it's just not super rewatchable, honestly. I'm tempted to put it here, but I'm gonna put it here because I've started to like the Thor movie more recently. So for now, I'll put Avengers here. Uh, what can I say? It's just this is one of those movies where it peaks high and it tanks low, and it just results in the middle. There's some cool stuff about it, but not a lot. Ant-Man, very funny movie. Definitely top of A tier. It used to be my favorite personally, because when did I buy Ant-Man? I think I watched Ant-Man after Doctor Strange came out because Doctor Strange is the movie I watched that made me realize that all of this is a thing. Actually, no, it was Civil War that did that. Civil War is the first one that made me realize that all these movies are connected. Which doesn't make any sense because I watched The Avengers and I watched Age of Ultron before this. So that doesn't make any sense at all. But actually, that doesn't make any sense. Why did I watch this movie and think, oh, this is all connected? Why did I do that? Maybe it was because Doctor Strange came out next and they advertised them together, and Doctor Strange wasn't in this movie, so I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. It's just some stupid stuff that peaked in my mind. But what were we talking about here? What's that? Ant-Man. Ant-Man is a movie I watched after Doctor Strange. I didn't think that this was a Marvel movie. I thought this was like a parody movie because at this time Walmart was selling a bunch of parody movies. So I was like, oh, Ant-Man, what the fuck is this shit? It's like Iron Man except it's an Ant-Man. And it turns out that it's its own thing, but it kind of is Iron Man like an Ant-Man. But Paul Rudd really did a good job of making it so Ant-Man himself is much different than Tony Stark. It might have like a very similar origin story, as in they're both kind of trying to come back from something. But Ant-Man is very, very well developed after this movie. During this movie, he's also well developed, but every movie that Ant-Man is in, it feels like his character becomes more and more and more unique. And I'm excited as shit for Ant-Man 3 because I think they're going to do an absolutely fantastic job with it, and I can't wait to see it. So Ant-Man, funny as shit, A tier. It was a very welcome surprise. The Thomas the Tank Engine fight scene at the end is one of my favorite fight scenes in Marvel. It was very creative, and I just enjoyed that. Civil War used to be my favorite Marvel movie, but now I put it here. Um, why? The airplane fight scene is good. I'm probably underrating this a little bit for no reason. I think this movie is probably higher than I put it, but it's just this is just where I feel it is. For some reason, I just like the other movies more because they all have personal meanings to me. Like Guardians of the Galaxy has a very personal meaning. Iron Man 1 is just pure classic. Can't take off the nostalgia glasses. I fucking love that movie. Iron Man 3, I was just wowed in the theater. I was shocked. I was like, 50 Iron Man suits? I can't believe it. And that has carried over into my adulthood. I didn't care about the Mandarin twist, but Civil War is that movie where I'm like, this is awesome, but it doesn't have the nostalgia glasses factor that the others do. All these movies have been out long enough where they all should have nostalgia glasses by now, and this is one that ranks here in my heart. What am I talking about? Okay, next movie. The plot in that movie kind of doesn't make sense if you think about it, but I don't care. So, Doctor Strange, absolute banger. This movie convinced me to watch every single Marvel movie for the rest of my life. I thought this movie was going to be bad. I was like, why is the Marvel Universe being infected with wizards? That doesn't even make sense. Went and watched this movie on a Tinder date, but we don't talk about that. So, watched this movie on a Tinder date, and I was more interested in the movie than the person. I originally went for the person, started watching the movie, became more interested in the movie. Side note, I never talked to that person again. I accidentally, quote unquote, ghosted them, I guess. Unintentionally. It kind of just happened by mistake, but I didn't ghost Doctor Strange. I watched this movie many times. A long period of time, it was my number one movie, but now I got it down here. Down here. Yeah, I got it back here now. This movie is a banger to put in. It's a lot like Iron Man 3, where I can put this in anytime I want. Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange, like Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Those two men are irreplaceable. Obviously, Spider-Man is replaceable. You can put a different actor in there and you can get a movie. I think Captain America is replaceable, honestly. I think Chris Evans did a really good job as Captain America, but I think he is replaceable. You could definitely throw somebody else in there. Chris Evans did not make Captain America Chris Evans. These guys, Doctor Strange and Benedict Cumberbatch, he made Doctor Strange Benedict Cumberbatch in my head. Robert Downey Jr. made Iron Man Robert Downey Jr. in my head. These movies are just really good at connecting me, and I can't wait for the second one. I am a little worried about these new ones because they're trying to go massive. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You'll see when I get to the first two Phase 4 properties what I think about it as a whole so far. But I am worried. I'm worried for the future. Uh, I'm gonna take a break from the list here. Shang-Chi is coming out. Let me get these in order here so I can talk about them a little bit. So that one. I think What If is here. What Doctor Strange here? I think She-Hulk is way later. Ms. Marvel is somewhere in there. I think Moon Knight's over here somewhere. Hawkeye is like here, I think. Yeah. So I'm excited for Loki. Very excited. It looks like it's going to be epic and it's going to explore things that I want to see very badly. So this movie, the show, is a very exciting show. I'm very excited for Black Widow just because it's the first movie, the actual movie. I want to see how a Phase 4 movie is going to look. It's the first movie, so I'm excited for that. What If? I'll watch it. I'm not excited for it, but I'm interested. Shang-Chi. I wasn't excited for it at all, but then I saw the trailer and now I'm very excited for it. The trailer is kind of good, actually. So I really want to see what this movie's like. I'm actually hoping this movie has very little jokes in it. I want to see Shang-Chi be a badass in this movie. I don't want to see him joke around. This is one of the very few Marvel movies where I hope they do not put a lot of jokes in. Hawkeye I'm excited for on a natural level. Eternals I'm hyped for, just because I don't know what it is, and I'm excited for some new stuff here. Ms. Marvel, I didn't give a shit about until I played the Avengers game. I think she's actually an okay character, so I'm kind of excited for this one. Hyped as shit for Thor. Moon Knight, I'm very interested in. I'm kind of hyped for it. I'm very interested in what the character is. Doctor Strange 2, what else can I say? She-Hulk and Blade. I don't give a motherfuck about She-Hulk and Blade. I don't care about Blade a lot, but I'm interested to see what the character is. So, back to the tier list. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I thought this movie was super epic when it came out. Now that it's been out for a while, I almost put it down here, but I think I'll put it here. It's still a great movie. There's just specifically a couple parts in the early middle that I think are trash. Especially the taser face stuff is super trash. That's mostly it. That really hurts the movie a lot. The gold people are actually okay. I don't mind them. I don't mind Ego. I think he's fine. Most of my problem with this movie is actually the whole Rocket arc. Having Rocket be by himself. I don't mind that part, but it wasn't. I don't like it. It's not my favorite. Other than that, it's just a great movie. It's another Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It's got great Guardians of the Galaxy stuff in it. I love it. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Fuck it. It's better than Ant-Man. I like Guardians of the Galaxy as a character group more than I like Ant-Man. False. I love Ant-Man, but I love Guardians of the Galaxy too. So I'm going to put it up there for now. This is a very hard area for me to rank. Spider-Man Far From Home, I'm going to put it below Guardians of the Galaxy. I fucking love Spider-Man Far From Home. This is my favorite Spider-Man movie. Sorry, I'm going to spoil that one too, but this is definitely my favorite Spider-Man movie. I love the Vulture as a villain. I love what this movie made me feel in theaters. I love watching Spider-Man. I love that. I actually like that he's a Tony Stark guy, apprentice, whatever they call it. I think it's fine. I just think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man by far. He is near making Spider-Man Tom Holland to me. But you can recast Spider-Man because they've already done it like 12 times. So that's the only reason. Otherwise, Tom Holland I think would be Spider-Man to me. He is the best. Yeah, it feels like it's a kid, like I wanted to. So yep, Spider-Man: Homecoming, or like I call it, Straight into Hell, I guess, is definitely a godlike movie. Thor Ragnarok, same level, but I kind of want to put it here this time. No, I gotta put it above. This movie is epic. Thor Ragnarok is a godlike movie. It looks like it might be falling out of my top 5, but put it right here. It's a very funny movie, almost too funny. But the stuff it does is epic. I love the Hulk in this movie. The Hulk's a little too funny in this movie, but I still love the Hulk. He's still epic in this movie. They haven't made him Professor Hulk yet. We'll get to that later. Thor is just hitting the peak of his character in this movie. So he did not hit the peak in this movie. I think he was slightly written too comedic. But this sets him up perfectly for Infinity War to be the peak that he is. And this movie is just awesome. I love watching it. It's very rewatchable. So, yep, S tier. Black Panther. I put it in B tier. Probably here. This movie, when I first watched it, I wanted to get on the hype train, so I ranked it highly. I was like, yeah, this movie's hype. I agree with everybody. And now I'm like, hold on, it's not for me. This movie has really bad CGI that I didn't notice until everyone pointed out to me, but now that I know it's there, I can't stop seeing how bad it is. It's just terrible. Killmonger is a threatening villain, and I like that about him. He's not the compelling villain people think he is. He's definitely a threatening guy who's threatening to do some very threatening things, if I can use that word any more than I already have. But he's not an S tier villain, I don't think. I think he's A tier, probably high A, because I think he's very good at a threatening villain, and I actually love watching him on screen. He's just he's not what people think he is. So it's a B tier movie. I still really enjoy watching it. I think it's the most overrated movie in the franchise, personally. But yeah, actually, there's one more that I think is more overrated, but I haven't gotten to it yet, and I don't know if that's true or not. So, Infinity War, #1 movie in the universe. I just love this movie. Yeah, this is my favorite experience in the movie theater. It's my favorite movie. What else could I say about it? I think this is actually a masterpiece. It's my favorite movie, and I think it always will be, no matter what they release from now on. So, we'll see if they can top it. I dare them to try. Ant-Man and the Wasp, right above Ant-Man. So I think Ant-Man has a better story, but I enjoy watching Ant-Man and the Wasp as a movie more. It's more entertaining to follow as a story. No, not as a story, just as a movie. I like that it's not big stakes. I like that they're just fighting for a lab and doing all this random stuff. This movie is really funny. It's almost higher than Guardians 2. It probably is higher. Fuck. It's probably right here. I almost want to put it in S tier, but I can't. It's not that good. Yeah, just an enjoyable movie to watch. I love watching it. Whenever I want to pop in a movie, just enjoy life, I put that movie in. Well, I do a lot of these movies for that, but Captain Marvel's a C tier movie. A lot of people agree on that one. I was excited for it. I was really, really hoping it was going to be good because I wanted Captain Marvel to be a good character in this universe. Unfortunately, they fucking botched the shit out of it. It's still a passable movie, even though they botched it. My favorite part of this movie is literally like three other characters before Captain Marvel. I like Nick Fury more. I like Talos, the Skrull, more. And Captain Marvel's probably third. The villain in this movie is absolute garbage. Jude Law is not my favorite villain. I don't think they wrote the character well at all. Her being on the Kree world is interesting, but the way they wrote this movie as a whole is just not my style. Not a big fan of Captain Marvel. Avengers Endgame. S tier. I'm debating number 3 or number 4. Number 3 to 5 are decently close. 3 and 4 are more close. I kind of want to do this. It's a hard choice. I think I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm not going to get too spicy. I know Guardians is moving up on my list, but I'm going to leave it there for now. I think it was the perfect finale. I don't care if I put a third on my list. That's just how good the top two are. And even Guardians of the Galaxy. It's perfect finale. I don't think I'd change anything about this movie, honestly. Even if it moved it up, I have no idea how I would move this movie up without damaging it overall. The only thing I kind of don't like about it is Professor Hulk. I wish. Actually, that's how I would change it. I would make Bruce Banner and Professor Hulk. I would make Hulk a better character in this movie. If you make Hulk a better character in this movie, move it up to S number 1. But Hulk in this movie is a funny guy, but I feel like you can have Bruce Banner and Hulk exist in the same movie and not solve their problems off camera and just piss me off. That's my least favorite part about the movie. I love the Thor stuff because it makes a lot of sense, and I don't hate Hulk. It's just I really wish they took Hulk down a more serious route. I noticed the farther I get into this franchise, the more I wish that they would take some people down serious routes. Leading me into Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm honestly going to put it here. I really wish they took the character Ned down a more serious route. The character Ned feels so childish to me in this movie. Peter Parker is good, as always, but Ned bothers me. MJ kind of bothers me. She feels like a different character in this movie than she did in the first one. Other than that, it's a good movie. The teacher gets old, drops his camera in the water. I get tired of that shit. That guy was funny in the first movie. He's not the kind of guy I want around for a whole franchise of Spider-Man movies. But he's here to stay, it sounds like, so I like what Spider-Man deals with in this movie. I think Mysterio's a pretty good villain. I don't think he's S tier, but I think he's a pretty good villain. Uh, the scene where he's revealing everything is a little wonky. It's a little too long, I think, and there's some things in there that people just don't need to know when he's toasting literally every person that exists. And the scene is like 4 minutes long. Didn't hit hard because they advertised it wrong. So that kind of damaged the movie a little bit. But yeah, A tier movie. Wandavision, S tier. Definitely S tier. I love Wandavision. The only thing that I don't like about the TV shows is that they're episodic and they release once a week. That bothers me, but not too much, obviously. I'm still putting it in S tier. If this movie or this show came out as a movie instead, I feel like it'd be S tier, even higher, but the single release part about it just killed it for me a little bit. Not too much, obviously, but I am not having fun with these TV shows and their single release episodes a week. I think that these Marvel shows need to drop at the same time, honestly. I think that if you have a franchise built primarily off movies, people are going to binge the shit out of this show. They're not going to want to watch 20 minutes this week, 20 minutes next week. It was really bad with WandaVision because it was literally 20 minutes every week. But this show, it patched it all together in a very nice way. And it ended on a good note. The final episode of this show was pretty epic. I actually liked it a lot. I hate what they did with that one guy's character. X-Man from the X-Man Quicksilver. What's his name? Ralph Boner. Boner. Yeah. So that kind of hurt a little bit. I think I overhyped this show because I was expecting crazy shit to happen in it. So once I got rid of those crazy hype glasses, I looked at the show and I'm like, damn, I'd watch that again. I found myself wanting to watch this show actually a decent amount, even to this day. So WandaVision, S tier show. I'm excited for it. I don't think they'll ever do a season 2 of it, and if they did, that wouldn't make any fucking sense at all. So glad it is what it is. Now, this show. This show. What do I even say about this show? So I'm not going to rank it until I explain how I felt about this show. So episode 1, I thought was okay. Episode 1 was an A tier episode. It was pretty good. Episode 2 was probably a B tier episode. It was not as good as episode 1, and I did not enjoy it as much. The things I enjoyed about episode 1 were all absent in episode 2. I loved that they took Sam Wilson as a character and dissected him and showed us what he's doing with his life. I like that they took Bucky Barnes as a character, dissected him, and showed us what he's doing with his life. That is why I think episode 1 is the best episode in this show. Episode 1 is the one that I could watch over and over and over because I just love episode 1. Episode 2, things start falling apart. The Flag Smashers are garbage. I hate them. I think the main villain in this show is trash. I don't like how they wrote that character at all. I don't think she at all relates to Sam. I don't understand why Sam is empathizing with her. She's literally blowing buildings up. Just fucking stop empathizing with her. Why are you sad she died? She's literally trying to kill everybody. Just come on, man. But anyways, episode 2, B tier. Noticeable content drop off. I'd actually put episode 1 in S tier probably. Down to B tier. Episode 3 was the one where they broke Zemo out. I was like, oh yeah, we're back on track here. This is some good stuff. This is a very choppy episode. It's very oddly edited, but I really like what I'm seeing here. Episode 3 was an A tier, so at this point I was like, this show is A tier. Episode 4 comes out. They destroy John Walker's character for no reason. I don't know what the fuck he's so untemperamental about just because he's thinking about the fucking serum, I guess. I don't know. Episode 4 doesn't make any sense to me at all. I think that was the episode where they fought. Oh yeah, the Black Panther people came in and they fought them for literally no fucking reason. It didn't make any sense to me. Why are the Black Panther people attacking? Don't get it. I don't know. They tried to make the Black Panther people disappointed in Bucky somehow, it felt like. I was like, why? Why? Also, why did they escalate straight from 0 to 100 and break Zemo out of jail? That doesn't make sense to me either. But all that aside, this episode was a mess, but I enjoyed it. So episode 3 was an A. I wasn't talking about that one, but it was a mess, but I enjoyed it at A. Episode 4 was a mess, and I didn't enjoy it as much. I think episode 4 was a solid B tier, maybe lower, probably bottom half of B. Episode 5 was fine. The fight scene in the beginning was pretty bad, honestly. I liked that it happened. The story part behind it wasn't bad, but the fight scene itself was not great. Something about this show felt off. It felt rushed. It felt choppy. The story didn't feel like it was cohesive. Every episode after episode 3 just felt like it got worse over time. Episode 5 was a solid C tier episode. And episode 6, what the fuck happened? I mean, he looks cool. His suit is fucking epic. Other than his suit, he had a fucking bad fight scene with the fucking Russian guy where he gets shit on for no reason and then just gets out. I don't understand. He flies through the helicopter scene. Cool scene. Alright, so he has 2 cool scenes now. He comes in the suit. That's cool. And, well, the episode actually started pretty good. I thought it was decent. I don't hate how they started it. It started falling apart at the fight scene, I think. Because that fight scene made no sense. Why can't you throw a chair at the Captain America shield and it just falls over? I mean, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, so the helicopter scene, it was still on track, and then after the helicopter scene, episode takes a boom, a nosedive, just way down. Yikes. So when they take John Walker off the bus and it starts falling and Sam picks it up, how the fuck did Sam get down there? That doesn't make any sense. His speech was fine, I guess. I mean, it almost looked like he was talking to the government like, you guys are trash, and I would have fought for the flag smashers if I was given the opportunity. Like, what? His character just doesn't make sense. I get the race thing, so they did a good job having the two things on there where Isaiah was one side and the Falcon was the other side. The Falcon is optimistic for the future. Isaiah doesn't want anything to do with the future because he doesn't trust anybody. So I like that the Falcon feels like a bridge, I guess. I don't like what part was I talking about? In episode 6, where they shoehorn that and the flag smashers together into one. They're not the same. You can't smoosh the race and the flag smashers into one. They are not the same thing. I hate that they did it. And it just fucked the episode for me. That speech was okay, but it slightly fucked the episode for me. And then after that, episode fucked. It's just over. I mean, the ending part is fine, but episode is already fucked. So it didn't redeem it. It was fine. It ended on a fucking abrupt note. Super random. I don't know. I feel like they did Bucky dirty in this show. I feel like he started off epic in episode 1. Episode 2 he was fine. 3 he was fine, I guess. And then in 4, 5, and 6 he fell off a cliff, I feel. Same with John Walker. They just kind of trashed those two characters. But Bucky didn't get trashed. He's still fine. I did like that he went about his list and fixed it. So, yeah. Overall, I'll put it in B tier. I'm probably going to put it here for now. Ah, man, I really hate the second half of this season. I'm putting it here. There's some shit in this season I just don't want to watch again. Oh, man, I watched the final episode twice, and I don't know if I'll watch it a third time. Yeah, so B tier. I was hyped for it. I thought it was going to be an S tier show. I was hyped. It's still good. It's B tier. Just the very bottom. It's almost okay. There are some episodes in this show that just fucking suck. I hate episode 6 so much, but yeah. Anyways, that's the list. Right here. 25 is Incredible Hulk. 24 is Thor the Dark World. 23 is Captain Marvel. 22 is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. 21 is Captain America, the First Avenger. 20 is Age of Ultron. 19 is Black Panther. 18 is Thor. 17 is Captain America, the Winter Soldier. 16 is Iron Man 2. 15 is Ant-Man. 14 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 13 is Spider-Man Far From Home. 12 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. 11 is The Avengers. 10 is Civil War. 9 is Iron Man 3. 8 is Wandavision. 7 is Doctor Strange. 6 is Thor Ragnarok. 5 is Spider-Man Homecoming. 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy. 3 is Avengers Endgame. 2, Iron Man 1. And coming in at number 1, obviously, Avengers Infinity War. Every list I make from here on out will probably have the same top 2. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy might take number 2, but it will never take number 1. So, thanks for watching. That's my list. Hope you enjoyed.